We need to talk. I put out a video recently about bad advice that people are giving new YouTube content creators that keep them from growing. And in the comment section of that particular video, there was a lot of really interesting comments that really demonstrated how little people know about YouTube and what's important to YouTube in terms of the things that actually cause your videos to get views and that actually causes your channel to grow. So because of that, I'm going to read some of the comments that were left on that video, and I'm going to share with you just how wrong those comments are. Now, I'm going to censor the channel names because this isn't an attack on them, and I'm not trying to put them on blast or anything like that, or even just point out anything about them. What I'm doing is I'm using their comment as something that we can learn from, because if they think this, then there's a lot of newer people that think this also, and we got to make sure that we get this stuff taken care of so that you can remove those blocks and start going after whatever it is that you're trying to achieve here on YouTube. So this first comment is, YouTube pushes certain content and certain creators. Facts. This is 100% inaccurate. So how YouTube actually works is YouTube is more of a pull system than a push system. So what that means is YouTube is prioritizing the viewers, not the content creators. So if there's viewers on the platform and you publish your video and YouTube thinks that your content's a good fit for them, it's going to pull that content and then present it in front of the viewers. It's not that you publish a video and then YouTube's like, hey, everybody, check this video out. It just doesn't work that way. In addition to that, there isn't favoritism on YouTube. The algorithm itself, it does not have favorites. It doesn't have opinions on our content. It doesn't think that our content is good or not. Everything is based on how the users of YouTube are interacting with the content. And as a new content creator, this is one of the most important things that you need to make sure that you know and you always remember when you make content. The algorithm follows the audience. And what that means is if people are responding well to your content, YouTube's going to show it to more people. If people are not responding well to your content, you can't get them to click on it. Once they do, they're just not having a great experience, or they're not watching any more content, or they're not doing anything else when they watch your videos. Then in that particular case, YouTube is going to prioritize videos that are getting that activity, and they're going to rank lower videos that are not getting that activity. That's why it's so important to focus all of your efforts on the viewer experience, because there's nothing anybody can do to trick the YouTube algorithm. There's nothing that you can do to game the system, so to speak. Those days are long gone. How things work now is it's all based on viewer experience. So if people are enjoying the content, they're clicking on it a lot and they're enjoying that content, maybe sharing it with other people, things like that, then your videos are going to do great. If they are not, then you got some work to do. And that's just part of the gig of being a content creator. The next comment is, it's also confusing, especially when you see channels that are soaring who are not doing anything that the expert suggests. The interesting thing about this particular comment is that the channels that you do see thriving, they are doing the thing. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that we tell people is that you have to learn how to get people to click on your content. You got to learn how to keep them watching. And then we give them all types of little nuanced, tricks that they can do to generate more watch time and things like that. And at a certain point though, there's only so much that you can do in terms of building all that stuff out. So at the end of the day, everything on YouTube comes down to your ability to get people to click at a high rate and your ability to give them a great experience when they're watching your content. And then from there, you can level things up by driving people into your in-screen videos so that they keep going deeper into your content. You create binge sessions, things like that, making shareable content that will also help you do better because you're literally having people elsewhere on the internet bring viewers to you. So when you see other channels thriving on YouTube and it appears that they're not doing the stuff, they're doing the core thing, the most important thing, which is they've learned how to serve their audience with their content and how to make great videos that they respond to in every aspect. Now, with that said, there are things that some of those big channels could do to make things go even better for them. But since most of us who make content like me, we focus on newer content creators so that we can help you understand how this stuff works so that you can move on and become one of those content creators that don't have to really focus as much on all the little details because they're doing the core thing, which is making great content for the people that they're trying to reach and getting them to respond to it in every possible way. Like at the core of YouTube help content, that's what it's all about, right? It's about making videos that your target audience is going to respond to. All the little details that we talk about, in terms of amplifying watch time by using the little specific features on YouTube and things like that, the big channels are doing that. Things about setting up your channel page to make it easier for people to find your content, that helps with bigger channels, but some bigger channels don't do that. But as a small YouTube channel, you should absolutely do that because every view counts so much. Every minute of watch time that you get, it counts so much in terms of growing your channel, but also in terms of just teaching YouTube who the right people are for your content so that it'll open things up for you a little bit in terms of the audiences that you're going to be able to reach. So the details are where those things are really important as a small content creator so you can really capitalize on everything as your channel starts to snowball. But if you're not doing any of those things, it's fine. You don't have to if and only if you are making just awesome content and you're able to get people to click on it at a high rate, enjoy it, subscribe to the channel, watch more, those types of things. For the next comment, there's a few things I want to unpack in this one, but the comment itself is, search is a small YouTuber's best friend. I could hypothetically make the most amazing video that has a high CTR and 100% watch retention, and YouTube will not recommend it to anyone because I'm nothing and my stats don't matter to them. I've had my videos with good stats that don't get recommended. However, one of my best videos has terrible stats, 19% watch retention, yet the search volume prompted YouTube to start pushing it out to more people. Okay, so first, search actually is fantastic for new content creators. And the reason that it is fantastic for new content creators is because as long as your content is something that people are looking for in YouTube search, then it makes it easy for people to find your videos. And as long as those people that are looking for them are enjoying them, then that kind of helps train YouTube on who the perfect fit is for your content. So that part, 100%, you got that. But the next part about stats, that's where everything kind of falls apart here with this comment. Now, when it comes to your stats, the reason that it appears that better videos have lower stats on them is because the better a video does, then typically it drives down all of the stats because you're getting in front of a lot more people with a lot more different experiences when they're experiencing the content itself. This is why it's extremely easy to get a 10 to 15% click-through rate on your thumbnails when you have very low impressions on your content. This is also why if you have 10 views on a video, you might look at the retention there and be like, wow, you know, people are like really enjoying this a lot. And those 10 people might have, which means that if they did, then in that case, that video will probably get more views on it. But the idea is that when people are interacting with your content, if you have 10 people interacting with it and they are that first group of people that YouTube thinks is the ideal fit for it, which means they're the most likely to enjoy it the most, then in that particular case, it's easy to have those high numbers. The problem comes when your videos start being distributed to a lot more people on YouTube. Then you have all those different ways that people are interacting with your content and it can cause your numbers to get a little bit weird. So when you're looking in your analytics, you'll see that. You'll see like, hey, all my best videos, they seem to have like the lowest retention. They seem to have like the lowest click-through rate, things like that, once you start scaling things up a bit. And the thing with that is it gets a little bit confusing if you don't understand that part of how things work on YouTube. So to wrap up that comment, the problem there isn't that your content isn't good enough and that however good your stats are, that YouTube isn't going to show it to other people. That's not how it works. The issue there was that they were not competitive enough at that point in time for YouTube to show it to a lot more people. And that's why they didn't. In fact, one of the best horizontal videos on my YouTube channel has an under 1 minute watch time on that particular video, but it's got millions of views on it. But here's the key, is when you do start scaling up those views, the same rules apply. So the better that you can hold on to the stats in terms of the higher you can keep those numbers as you start going out at scale, then the better and better and better the videos are going to be in terms of how people respond to them. This next comment is about naming your video and your thumbnail files with the keywords that you are trying to target on YouTube. Dope info. From the SEO side of things, it's important that you name your videos and your thumbnails or any picture that you upload. I've seen my video thumbnails and video pop up in Google search based off of what I name my photos and videos. I think this is a key, especially if you're starting out, to get into the habit. Will it hurt you if you didn't? No. Will it help you? Well, every little bit of info regarding your services helps. So for this one, the reason that the thumbnails show up or the videos show up in Google is because of the other optimization that's happened to the video. So the title, the description, what's happening in the content itself, because YouTube is watching and listening to your videos. All of that is what is causing the thumbnail images or the videos to show up in Google. So when you upload a video to YouTube, you can actually go into the code of YouTube and you can see that they change the file names of your videos and they change the file names of your thumbnails thumbnails to match how they structure things to keep things organized on YouTube. So if you want to name your thumbnails or your videos with whatever it is that you're trying to target for YouTube search or Google search, that's perfectly fine. Just be informed that it's not going to actually help you on YouTube. But if you do it for your own organizational purposes, that's perfectly fine. And the next comment is, what's so funny? Every time my money went down on both of my channels with more than 50,000 subs apiece, YouTube says your everything is down because you publish less videos than before. YouTube tells you this. They give you the idea that more videos mean everything. It's just confusing because everyone says something different and everyone is an authority like Nick. You know what? It can absolutely get confusing. And I know that there's a lot of people making content that help out content creators, and you'll hear different information coming from different people, or the way that they say it might make it sound like it's different information. It can make things a little bit confusing. I get that. But when it comes to the reports that YouTube gives you inside of your analytics, and they say things like your channel is doing better because you uploaded more videos, they're giving you the reason why it's doing better at that moment in time. So for example, if you were to upload less videos, but the videos performed better, then they would share that message. It would say something along the lines of your video is performing better because more of your regular viewers are responding to it when we show it to them, or something along those lines. So it's just a reflection of why your videos or your channel is doing better during that time period. So it's not necessarily saying that that's the only way to make your channel do better. It's simply just a reflection of why it did better in that particular period. And look, with all the advice that you're going to get and all the advice that's available on the internet and on YouTube about how to grow your YouTube channel, I'm going to tell you what you need to focus on. You need to put all of your efforts on coming up with good video ideas, obviously, right? You need to come up with a good way to frame those videos from the outside in terms of your thumbnail and title. And then you also need to make sure that once people click on those, that they enjoy your content. Like, this seems and sounds so basic, but there's a lot of nuance within those things. But with all the details and all the things that you can do to keep yourself busy when it comes to your YouTube channel, the things that you need to make sure that you're focusing on to make sure that your time is spent efficiently is the things that will actually move the needle for you, which is learning how to come up with better video ideas, make better thumbnails, make better titles, and make better video content. If you can focus on those things, you'll do awesome. But the details will help you scale. So do all the small stuff too, but focus on the big stuff, the stuff that actually matters, because there's no amount of tags, there's no amount of SEO, there's no amount of anything that will fix a bad video and that will make a bad video perform, or that will make a bad thumbnail perform, or that will make a bad title perform. So you have to focus on those core things. And look, if you're a new content creator, there's a good chance that there's other information that you're hearing or looking at that is kind of heading you down the wrong path. So because of that, I put together a video of some mistakes that content creators make that just destroy their channels. You can watch that right here. Go ahead and click into that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in that next video.